Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 221213.6. On the 13th day of Moistmas my whole crew gave to me pigeon's milk, a long wait, and a left-handed cup. I'm starting to think my crew are mugging me off with these gifts now. Okay people, so we need to have a very serious discussion. There is a threat on this planet. One that makes up a mere 8% of this world's population, but one that threatens the way of everyone's existence. While I fully support no lives mattering, these people have had their time and they need to be dealt with. Thank God for sites like Blacked, doing their civic duty, erasing these people from existence and ensuring that this scourge, akin to that of the Lich King, the wrath of which we cannot possibly comprehend because it's a fecking video game that sucks. I am of course speaking of the whiteness, the white people. They are a blasphemy. To look upon one is heresy. To engage in them in anything that isn't breeding them out of existence and of course turning all of the males into eunuchs is a criminal offense. I won't deny I'm somewhat surprised these arguments that are quite dated are still doing their rounds. Thank you TikTok for allowing me to go through a renaissance of anti-SJW style content. Oh, this is cringe. Although I can't tell if any of these are pose, because it's TikTok, and the vast majority of that site, platform, app that aren't sellers are renowned for being moronic. So what I'd like to do today is show you two videos, and we're going to respond to both. Yes, it's a response video time. Brace yourselves! It's that time of year again. And see if we can't have a little bit of fun in the process. But seriously, end the white menace. 8%? I think we can do better. And breeding them out of existence is humane. I can't wait for the ethno-nationalists to be in my comments. If you couldn't tell any of that was a joke, well done.
You know what? While we're on the topic of how white people are just f***ing the world up for everyone, you're not one of the good white people.
I see this one knows how to read. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think we should allow this particular critical thinker to get her point across, but I will interject at certain relevant points because of copyright.
There are no good white people. There are only anti-racist white people and racist white people.
Is this the part where I tell her that only Siths deal in absolutes, and this novel idea that there is no version of a reality, past, present, future, in all discovered and undiscovered dimensions? Yes, I'm quoting Dr. Cox. Is there a single possibility that a white person could not, in fact, be just a white person or a good white person because of the color of their skin determining whether or not they are good? Just also add, this is a very westernized interpretation and does not apply to other nations where white people do not exist as much, or other people from other races go to other countries where they are still a minority and are treated like crap. Cough cough Japan, cough cough.
Anti-racism is a lifelong project, and the end goal is not for you to be good. It's for society to be good. Decenter yourself.
Should we now tear down the structures of power? Dismantle it all? Perhaps the patriarchy is to blame. We can certainly look into that while we're breeding the whiteness out of existence. You first.
Do the work. It's hard. You're going to get it wrong. But if you are not out there every day actively trying to understand...
So this point of understanding before she finishes her thought, which isn't the best of thoughts at the best of times, is a novel one, because you make it seem like every single individual person's lifelong experience, therefore taking the majority of your own life to do that. You mentioned decenter yourself at the end there of that tweet. My view on this is always quite simple. Treat others how you want to be treated. The past cannot be learned from by using the present as a benchmark. All we can do is treat everyone with the same level of equality and respect and make sure that no one is treated differently for something that they should not be treated differently for. I will make an exception for the following people: nonces, and those that abuse animals, and to quote Book Shepherd, those who talk in the theatre.
You're not a good white person. Stop patting yourself on the back. Stop congratulating each other. Stop separating us from the bad white people.
I have this really quaint image in my head of when a white person does the right thing and stands up to racism. They go, bro, I did good there. High five. Yeah, Todd. Amazeballs. Right? Is that how that goes? Should I go find some white people and ask them? Because those that do congratulate themselves for doing the right thing should celebrate it. Not because they're good white people, but because they did the right thing. Even if the intentions may come across as shallow when they're seen going, yo bro, high five. Wow. Do I now need to insert cowabunga?
Don't sit out there in comments and say, we don't claim them. We are them. We are them.
Oh, so white people are typecast. I get it now. It's why white English men make up fantastic villains in movies. I now understand you, so I'm going to let you finish your video because I'm a good blue person. I'm a minority as well, by the way. I'm going to let you articulate what the white people are doing around the world, apparently in current year.
We are the ones shooting up schools. We are the ones raping people. We are the ones enslaving people. We're them.
So there were some rather interesting facts there. Firstly, you mentioned that the white people are the ones doing the pew-pews at schools. A quick Google search debunked that, so citation needed for that remark. I assume you're latching onto Sandy Hook as the more prevalent, prominent, well-known. Basically, anyone can be that. Second, the S.A. SALT one. Yeah, your statistics. Do you have a citation for your particular perspective? And the third one, enslavement. I assume you're not familiar with the fact that slavery is going on in many other countries. With the Qatar World Cup in full swing, slavery's still a thing there. It's still a thing in many countries, actually. The majority are not white doing it. In fact, there is such a thing as modern slavery, yes, but it is not comparable to what you are referring to or inferring. You are again making the West seem like the center of the world and ignoring the cultural differences to make a grandiose virtue-signaled point. On to the second video.
I'm going to say some stuff that's going to ruffle some feathers.
Should I take my trousers off for this part?
It may even evoke anger out of some of you, but if it does evoke anger, it's because it's the truth.
If you're about to tell me that American cuisine is good, I'm about to punch you, then bash you over the head with a bowl of gumbo.
So sit the down and put the shoe on, Cinderella, because here we go.
How did you know I make a fantastic princess?
If you look at the culprits from most of the school shootings, most of the church shootings, most of the attacks against the LGBT and minority groups, who is it?
I think you'll find they're neither canine, feline, equestrian, dinosaur, vegetable, although they could be if they put one in their brain, mineral. I guess the answer is human. But if we look at gun crime statistics in America, courtesy of AmericanProgress.org, so highly reputable, I'm sure someone was going to say, oh, this is shit, sus. You find that per 100,000 people, white people, 90.5 gun crimes per 100,000. For Hispanic, 128.7. And black Americans are 208.9. Now, because you framed it a certain way that gets reported in the news, especially when white, Uvalde, is that how you pronounce it in Texas, being, I believe, Hispanic, wasn't reported on much, although there were some articles that indicated that they had been whitewashed a little. I think that was fake if memory serves. My point is, you are going with what is sensationalized because you take personal offense, but also because of what you see in the very heavily one-way leaning news. So go frame your argument. I can hardly wait to listen to it.
It's white cis men. Oh, no, it's a mental health crisis. We need to acknowledge it.
Are you downplaying the importance of mental health? Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for showing me just how progressive you are. It's very tolerant, accepting, understanding. Granted, when someone commits crimes that are heinous, sympathy is negligible, but we do live in a system where the death penalty isn't instantly implemented. We also live in a system where due process is important. You need it to understand the motivations of why someone did that. It helps prevent things happening in the future. Yes, there are going to be mistakes and there are going to be casualties, none of which are remotely acceptable. But no one can learn to be better, no one can improve, because no one actually lives on a high horse and thinks they're superior enough to simply walk through life. So these mistakes have to happen. It is inevitable.
No, we're not going to use mental health illnesses as the reasoning on why this is happening. I have mental health issues and I'm white. I'm not going out there doing this shit.
You are narrow-minded and a moron. Do you believe that all people have mental health illnesses or issues, debilitating problems, are identical? Are you that thick? How dumb are you? I too have mental health problems. The anxiety and depression I have had to deal with the better part of 5 years sometimes comes close to stopping me from ever leaving the house. And then I realize, but I like money, so I'm going to go to work. I get over it. I push through it. I too don't go out of my way to commit crimes, because it turns out I like my freedom. That is not going to be experienced by everyone. It really isn't. There are going to be others with depression and anxiety like I have, but who have a very different thought process to it. You are a twat for thinking for even a second mental health is not important, dipshit.
It's white cis men who are a part of the far right-winged ideology of fascism. That is a true threat and the terrorism to this country. And if you don't fucking think so, you're a dingbat.
Oh, it's the far right. Of course it is. Not the people being pushed there because they're alienated by people like you. You and the other person I covered talk about how white people are the problem. You're right. You are the problem. Alienating others, denigrating others, vilifying others, pushing them away is a part of the problem. Refusing to understand, accept differences, refusing to engage in polite discourse, taking their mental health concerns and simply saying that all cis white males are the problem and they must be dealt with is the problem, when, as I stated, the real problem is you, the narrow-minded, always the ones that loudly declare themselves to be the champions of progressivism and yet fundamentally fail at actually being progressive, because to be progressive is apparently to be an empath, understanding, nurturing, kind, all of which are spoken with no level of irony from some of the most intolerant individuals I have ever seen on the internet. The same people that use the word fascist on a regular as well. At this point, it's gotten a bit trite, don't you think?
Oh, and P.S., a drag queen reading to your child isn't going to do anything to them, but you showing up in militia gear wanting to play Call of Duty is going to traumatize them for the rest of their life.
Well, I'm certainly not going to invite you to play zombies with myself and 2 friends over Christmas. Ta-ta.